Hello everyone, good morning one and all. My name is B. Pawan and my roll number is 20955A0411 and my AAT topic for digital image processing subject is the accuracy of a gauge figure tasks in monoscopic and stereo displays. That is, in monoscopic and stereo displays, what is the accuracy of a gauge figure tasks? First, we have to know what is meant by monoscopic and stereo displays, and then we can find the accuracy of the gauge figure task in monoscopic and stereo displays. So first we have to know what is meant by gauge figure task. So if we know gauge figure task, then we can understand what is meant by accuracy of the gauge figure tasks. So the gauge figure tasks. So it is being abbreviated as GFT. GFT, gauge figure task. It is a widespread method used to study surface perception for evaluating rendering and visualization techniques. So it can be called as a widespread method since it is a widespread method which is used to study surface perception for evaluating rendering and visualization techniques. So for the purpose of evaluating rendering and visualization techniques, we have to study the surface perception. For that, the method that is used is a gauge figure task. So it is also called as widespread method and it is especially named as gauge figure task, simply called as GFT. In computer graphics research, it is desirable to compare the perceived surface orientation expressed by the gauge figure GF to the ground truth GT surface normal to assess how accurately a rendering is interpreted. So when it comes to computer graphics research, it is the most desirable to compare the perceived surface orientation that is expressed by the gauge figure to the ground truth surface normal to assess how accurately a rendering is interpreted. Since it is mainly used for the surface perception of a rendering and visualization techniques, the gauge figure task and the gauge figure to the gauge truth surface normal to assess normal is required to assess or to understand how accurately a rendering is interpreted. So in computer graphics research, it is used in this sort of way such that the gauge figure to the ground truth normal surface defines how accurately a gauge figure task, how accurately a rendering is interpreted. The GFT is a two-dimensional method of adjustment procedure where a gauge figure is interactively oriented until it is perceived to align with the stimulus object's surface orientation underneath. So the gauge figure task, it is a two-dimensional method. Since it is a widespread method, it is also as well as two-dimensional method of adjustment procedure where a gauge figure is interactively oriented until it is perceived to align with the stimulus object surface orientation underneath. So it is a method of adjustment since it is interactively oriented until it attains a stimulus object surface orientation it will be in a motion, that is it is an adjustment process. It is a simple glyph consisting of a circle to be placed tangentially to the stimulus object surface and a perpendicular stick indicating the normal vector. The GF's popularity is mainly due to its intuitiveness and speed for objectively probing the perceived orientation of a surface. It is a simple glyph consisting of a circle to be placed tangentially to the stimulus object surface and a perpendicular stick indicating the normal vector. So it can in this GFT we have a simple glyph in which a circle is placed tangentially to the stimulus object surface. So for the tangent of the stimulus, that is the circle is placed according to the tangential of the stimulus object surface, and as well as perpendicular stick indicating that as a normal vector. The GF's popularity is mainly due to its intuitiveness and speed for objectively probing the perceived orientation of this surface. So its main why it is popular. The main usage that made the GFT as a popular means is due to its intuitiveness and speed for the alignment with the object surface, or alignment with objectively probing the perceived orientation of a surface. So in order to achieve the perceived orientation of a surface, it has mainly intuitiveness and speed for the required perceived orientation of a surface, so that it became popular. So here we can see a figure that is related to GFT. See here it is showing the figure of the GFT probing pipeline. So these are the steps. First we go for virtual representation, and then it moves to pictorial presentation. From then it moves to sensorial projection. From then it leads to mental representation. Then after it moves to probing data. So from virtual representation is nothing but general representation. So when it have to move to pictorial representation, it performs rendering. So by performing rendering, the virtual representation is moved to pictorial presentation, and then physical presentation to sensorial projection is done by performing the physical transmission. After then perception is being occurred such that sensorial projection is being processed into mental representation. Here we can see the sphere inside the mental representation, and then it performs communicative perception. After performing communicative perception, there results probing data. See here we can see how it is performing the visual representation, pictorial representation, sensorial projection, mental representation, probing data. Here we can also see how it is being transformed and how well the path is being directed, the process. Visual representation, pictorial representation, sensorial representation, mental representation, probing data. These are the steps, these are the few levels. Thank you.